The galaxy was a vast, restless sea of stars and worlds, many of them caught in the grip of war. Two mighty factions, the Zillar Dominion and the Vecran Coalition, had plunged countless systems into conflict, their battles shaping the future of countless civilizations. Among these was Earth, a planet still finding its place among the stars. Earth had grown quietly but steadily, its people mastering new technologies, expanding beyond their solar system, and forging tentative connections with alien species. But war was something different, something Earth's leaders were determined to avoid. The official stance was neutrality, a position born not from weakness but careful calculation in the council chamber of the United Earth Federation. Commander Alina Reyes sat among the council members, listening to reports from the outer colonies. The news was troubling. Nearby systems were falling under fire, and both factions cast wary eyes toward Earth's borders. Reports confirm increased patrols from Zillar ships near the Helio sector, a fleet commander announced. "They're testing our response times." Reyes nodded. "They want to send a message without provoking a full-scale conflict. We must remain vigilant, but avoid escalation." The Federation's leadership agreed. Earth's message to both sides was clear. Humanity sought peace and would not interfere in the war. Still, they prepared, quietly strengthening defense fleets, advancing research into new shielding technologies, and readying diplomatic channels. On the planet's surface, the world's population watched news broadcasts with a mix of apprehension and hope. Humanity had weathered many storms, but war on this scale was new. The government's promise of neutrality was a bomb, but many wondered how long it could last. In orbit, the Sentinel, Earth's flagship patrol cruiser, glided through space, its sensors scanning for threats. Captain Marcus Errol stood on the bridge, his eyes focused but calm. "Keep all systems ready. We can't afford surprises." A sharp alert cut through the hum of the ship. The tactical officer reported an unidentified ship approaching Earth's outer perimeter, small, fast, and cloaked in a way the Sentinel sensors struggled to penetrate. "Unknown vessel detected." "Possible Zillar scout," the officer said. Errol's jaw tightened. "Prepare for interception. No shots unless fired upon." Moments later, the Sentinel moved to intercept. The scout ship's captain was cautious, signaling their peaceful intent. But the message was clear. This was a warning. The Zillar Dominion wanted Earth to stay out of the war, back on Earth. The government received a communique from the Zillar High Command, delivered through neutral channels. The message was curt: maintain neutrality or face consequences in the Federation's Situation Room. Admiral Lian addressed the council. "We've been warned. Our neutral status is respected only as long as it suits them." Counselor Merrick, the chief diplomat, replied, "We must continue efforts to de-escalate. But we should not appear weak." Reyes leaned forward. "Our defenses must be ready. Our allies must know we will stand firm if provoked." The meeting ended with a shared understanding. Earth walked a thin line. They must protect their people, respect their neutrality, and avoid becoming a pawn in a war that could engulf the entire galaxy as the sun set over the blue-green planet. Millions looked to the stars, hopeful, anxious, united. Earth was still a young player on the galactic stage, but humanity's spirit burned bright. In a galaxy at war, Earth chose peace. Yet it prepared silently for whatever challenges might come. Because in the vast darkness of space, neutrality was not always safe, and sometimes even a warning could spark a fire. The days following the Zillar warning passed in tense vigilance. Earth's leaders kept diplomatic channels open, exchanging carefully worded messages with both the Zillar Dominion and the Vecran Coalition. The hope was to maintain peace and avoid unnecessary conflict. But peace in a galaxy at war was a fragile thing, easily shattered deep in the outer reaches of Earth's sphere of influence. On the edge of the Helio sector, the quiet hum of activity in the research outpost on Kepler-76 was suddenly broken. Sensors detected an unidentified object moving at high speed, too fast for known civilian crafts and too stealthy for typical patrol ships. Lieutenant Myra Chen was on duty when the outpost's alarms blared. Incoming vessel approaching fast. Unknown signature, she reported to her commanding officer. The outpost's commander, a Captain Jamal Devereaux, activated emergency protocols. Prepare for possible attack. Seal all non-essential systems. Alert Earth Command. Within minutes, plasma bolts rained down, striking the outpost's external arrays and damaging critical infrastructure. The attackers moved with ruthless precision. In the chaos, communications were jammed, leaving the outpost isolated. Myra ducked behind a reinforced console as debris rained from a direct hit nearby. Who would attack a peaceful research station? She muttered, adrenaline sharp in her veins. When the assault ended, the attackers vanished as quickly as they had come. The outpost was badly damaged. Lives were lost. The survivors scrambled to send a distress signal before their systems failed. Back on Earth, Lamess was received in a wave of shock and anger. The station's coordinates revealed it lay within a contested zone, but it was clearly a human facility. Neutral and non-combatant Commander Elena Reyes stared at the transmission with grim determination. This wasn't a mistake. Someone wanted to send a message and they targeted us. Diplomats quickly sought answers. The Vecran Coalition denied involvement, blaming rogue factions and promising to investigate. But whispers in Galactic news feeds suggested otherwise. Satellite images leaked online showed the attackers' markings resembled Vecron vessels. Public outrage on Earth grew. News anchors spoke of the attack in somber tones, emphasizing the need for calm but demanding accountability. Protests ignited. In major cities, not against the aliens, but for humanity's right to defend itself. Councillor Marek addressed the Federation. Our patience is not infinite. We must respond firmly to protect our citizens and uphold our sovereignty. Military leaders convened in the Situation Room. Admiral Lian outlined options ranging from diplomatic pressure to targeted retaliation. We must be decisive but measured, she said. A full-scale war with the Vecran Coalition would be catastrophic, but inaction could invite further attacks. Commander Reyes volunteered for a sensitive mission: to lead a covert operation aimed at identifying and neutralizing the rogue faction responsible for the assault. We cannot appear aggressive, but we must show strength, she said. Meanwhile, diplomats scrambled to prevent escalation. Messages were sent to both the Zillar Dominion and Vecran Coalition, emphasizing Earth's neutrality, but warning that future attacks would be met with force. The galaxy watched closely. Many species viewed Earth's restraint with surprise. Some with admiration. Humans had proven they would not be pushed around even when caught between two massive powers. On the diplomatic front, envoys worked tirelessly to arrange emergency talks, hoping to defuse the crisis. But behind closed doors, Earth's military was already mobilizing. In a hidden base near the asteroid belt, Reyes reviewed mission plans with her team. Precision and speed are critical, she said. We hit the rogues where it hurts, but avoid civilian casualties or broad conflict. The mission was set to begin as soon as the strike team was ready. As night fell over Earth, millions gazed up at the stars, unaware of the storm gathering on the edges of known space. Neutrality had been tested on, the war creeping closer. Sometimes the wrong attack could change everything. The covert strike team moved swiftly through the void, slipping past patrols and evading sensors with expert precision. Led by Commander Elena Reyes, the squadron was tasked with locating and disabling the rogue Vecron faction responsible for the attack on the Kepler-76 research outpost. Reyes studied the mission display as their stealth frigates approached a remote asteroid base in the Verdun Systema. SUSPECTED hideout for the rogue commanders. Satellite images confirmed heavy weapon emplacements and recent ship activity. This was their target. Prepare for infiltration, Reyes ordered. We take out the command center, disable their ships, and gather intel. No unnecessary damage. The strike was quick and decisive. Using advanced human technology, the team disabled defenses before the rogue faction could mount an effective counterattack. Communications were jammed to prevent warnings, but as the dust settled, reports came in from an unexpected source, a distress call from a nearby moon. It was a small colony of the Irani species, known for their peaceful nature and tight bond. With Earth's scientific community, the moon settlement had been caught in the crossfire, its research facilities damaged, and several lives lost. Reyes' heart sank. We weren't supposed to hit civilians. This isn't part of the plan. Further investigation revealed a devastating truth. The rogue faction had been using the Irani moon as a shield, disguising their operations beneath the colony's radar. In the fog of war, the strike team's precision couldn't prevent collateral damage. The news spread quickly, sparking outrage across the galaxy. The Vecron coalition condemned the rogue faction with renewed urgency, promising to root out those responsible for putting civilians in harm's way. But Earth's public was less forgiving. Protesters demanded accountability from their own government, accusing leadership of risking innocent lives. Diplomatic channels strained as allies and adversaries alike watched Earth grapple with the consequences. Commander Reyes met with Federation leaders in a closed session. We acted with the best intelligence we had, she said. We will make amends and ensure nothing like this happens again. Counselor Merrick sighed deeply. Our enemies will use this as propaganda. We must move carefully. Meanwhile, the Vecron coalition intensified internal investigations, arresting commanders suspected of rogue behavior. But the damage was done. The trust Earth had painstakingly built was fragile, and suspicion lingered on all sides. Despite the setback, Earth's leaders refused to back down. They increased humanitarian aid to the Irani colony, providing medical supplies, engineers, and rebuilding crews. Public statements emphasized the importance of protecting all innocent lives caught in the war's path. In the background, Zillar Dominion watched these events unfold with a calculating eye. They saw Earth's increasing involvement not as a threat, but as an opportunity, a rising power they could potentially influence or contain. In the corridors of power, secret meetings were held. Earth is no longer a bystander, one Zillar general remarked. Their growing influence could tip the balance. Back on Earth, the balance between peace and conflict grew more delicate. The war that humanity had hoped to avoid was creeping closer, fueled by misunderstandings, hidden agendas, and unexpected alliances. Commander Reyes gazed out from the Federation headquarters, her mind racing. The mission had succeeded, but at a cost. Now more than ever, humanity would need to demonstrate not just strength, but wisdom. Because in a galaxy scarred by war, the line between ally and enemy was thinner than ever. One wrong move could ignite a firestorm. The aftermath of the rogue faction strike weighed heavily on Earth's leadership. The loss on the Irani moon was a grim reminder that even the most carefully planned operations carried risk. Yet, amidst the sorrow and controversy, a new determination was born. Humanity would not be bullied or dismissed. Commander Alina Reyes stood before the Federation's Defense Council, her voice steady and resolute. We cannot allow rogue elements or hostile powers to threaten our people or our interests, but we must act with precision and honor. This is not about vengeance. It is about protecting what we have built. Her words resonated through the chamber. The Council, representing Earth's diverse systems and cultures, shared a unanimous understanding. The time for cautious neutrality was ending. Humanity needed to demonstrate its strength and resolve. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, reports began to surface of a new phenomenon. Alien captains from various factions were choosing to dock their warships at Earth's repair bays instead of their own. The reason was clear. Earth's facilities had become known for their efficiency, innovation, and, most importantly, fairness. Captain Lyra Velen of the Zetari fleet had been among the first to seek repairs at the United Earth shipyards. "Our systems were damaged in skirmishes near Vecran space," she explained, during a press conference aboard the Starlands. "Earth's technology is advanced, and their crews are meticulous. More than that, their fairness in dealings has earned our trust." The story spread quickly. It was no secret that many alien repair yards were rife with corruption, delays, or outright sabotage. Earth's reputation for integrity and cutting-edge technology became a beacon in the turbulent galaxy. Back on Earth, engineers and scientists worked tirelessly to improve shipboard defenses and propulsion systems, sharing non-military advancements with allied factions. This open exchange built goodwill and trust, gradually shifting the political landscape. At the same time, the Federation's military quietly enhanced its fleet. New vessels equipped with adaptive shielding and advanced targeting systems were deployed, demonstrating a subtle but unmistakable message. Earth was ready to defend itself and its allies. When a small Zalora patrol ventured too close to Earth's outer stations, the Sentinel responded swiftly, but without aggression, escorting the patrol away with clear communication. This measured strength earned grudging respect. In diplomatic halls, Counselor Merrick pushed harder for peace negotiations. "We must seize this moment," he urged. "Our growing influence, combined with a willingness to engage, can bring factions to the table. Earth's example can inspire others." However, not all welcomed Earth's rise. Some warlords and radicals viewed humanity's strength as a threat to their ambitions. Secret meetings were convened in shadowy corners of the galaxy, plotting how to undermine Earth's progress. On a quiet night in orbit, Commander Reyes reflected on the path ahead. The mistakes made, the lives lost, they fueled her determination. Earth was no longer a silent observer, but a vital player in shaping the future. Her communication officer interrupted gently. "Incoming message from Vecron Coalition leadership. They've requested a meeting to discuss a ceasefire proposal." Reyes exchanged looks with her team. This was the opportunity they had worked for, a chance to turn human resolve into lasting peace as the stars twinkled beyond the viewport. Earth stood poised between war and peace. The galaxy was watching, waiting to see if humanity's spirit would shine through the darkness. Because sometimes, true strength was not just in the weapons one wielded, but in the courage to protect, to rebuild, and to lead. The message from the Vecron Coalition arrived quietly but carried the weight of a turning point. Their leadership, shaken by the rogue faction's actions and Earth's unwavering response, sought an unprecedented meeting chance to open dialogue. After years of conflict, in the High Chamber of the United Earth Federation, Counselor Marek prepared for the talks alongside Commander Alina Reyes and a team of diplomats. News of the meeting spread rapidly, igniting cautious hope across Earth and the wider galaxy. When the Vecron delegation arrived aboard the Unity, a sleek vessel symbolizing cooperation, tension was palpable but underscored by mutual respect. The coalition's envoy, Ambassador Thalor, a calm and measured speaker, stepped forward. "We come with an earnest desire to discuss peace," Thalor began. "The war has taken too much from us all. Earth's strength and restraint have shown us a different path." Counselor Merrick nodded. "Our hope has always been to keep Earth and all innocent worlds safe. Let this be the start of dialogue that ends the suffering." Behind closed doors, the talks were intense. The coalition sought assurances that Earth would not join the war, but would continue offering humanitarian aid and mediation. The Federation insisted on respect for its sovereignty and a commitment to stop attacks on neutral systems. Meanwhile, Zillar Dominion observed the unfolding negotiations with growing concern. Their leaders debated how to respond to Earth's rising influence and the Vecran willingness to engage. Some favored diplomatic overtures, while others called for demonstrations of power on the streets of Earth's major cities. Citizens watched news feeds with bated breath. Support rallies for peace drew thousands. A testament to humanity's yearning for stability amid the turmoil. Yet beneath the hopeful surface, challenges remained. Rogue factions within both the Zillar Dominion and Vecran coalition resisted peace efforts. Skirmishes flared on distant fronts, threatening to unravel delicate progress. Commander Reyes coordinated with intelligence teams, monitoring threats and advising diplomats. "We cannot let extremists derail this opportunity," she warned. "Our actions now will shape the galaxy's future." In response, Earth intensified its support for smaller allied species caught in the conflict, providing medical aid, supplies, and refuge. These humanitarian efforts bolstered Earth's reputation as a compassionate leader, of stark contrast to the war-weary factions at the Federation's shipyards. Engineers worked tirelessly to improve repair and defense capabilities, accommodating growing requests from alien captains who trusted Earth's facilities. This practical cooperation fostered new alliances, weaving a network of shared interests and mutual respect. Meanwhile, a surprise came from within the Zillar Dominion. A faction of moderate leaders, alarmed by the Dominion's hardline stance, quietly reached out to Earth. Seeking dialogue and exploring avenues for peace, Counselor Merrick saw this as a vital opening. "If we can bridge these divides," he said, "we may steer the galaxy toward lasting harmony." As talks progressed, a joint statement was released. Both Earth and the Vecran coalition pledged to work toward a ceasefire and explore broader peace negotiations involving the Zillar Dominion. The announcement sent ripples through galactic news. Some factions cheered, others bristled. But no one could deny the significance of the moment. Yet, as celebrations began, Commander Reyes remained vigilant. "Peace is not a given," she reminded her team. "It's a fragile promise we must protect." In the quiet that followed, Earth's leaders prepared for the next phase, balancing diplomacy with readiness, hope with caution, because in a galaxy scarred by war, breaking the silence was only the first step. The real test lay ahead. The announcement of tentative peace between Earth and the Vecran coalition sent waves of optimism across the galaxy. For many, it seemed as though a new chapter was beginning, one where war might finally give way to dialogue and cooperation. But in the shadows, darker forces stirred, threatening to unravel the fragile progress. On the fringes of the Zillar Dominion, a faction of hardline warlords rejected any notion of compromise. They viewed Earth's rising influence and the peace talks as a direct threat to their ambitions. In secretive bunkers carved into asteroids, these warlords convened, plotting to disrupt the fragile balance. General Krozak, a brutal and cunning commander, spoke with grim determination. "Earth's neutrality and growing power undermine us. We must show them and the galaxy that we are not to be trifled with. The peace talks are a weakness we will exploit." Meanwhile, rogue Vecran factions also stirred unrest. Despite official pledges, not all within their ranks accepted the path of diplomacy. A covert group, driven by vengeance and distrust, began orchestrating sabotage against Earth's interests, aiming to provoke retaliation and force the Federation back into open conflict. On Earth, Commander Alina Reyes and her intelligence team detected troubling signals, encrypted transmissions, unexplained ship movements, and reports of small-scale attacks on supply lines. The evidence pointed to coordinated efforts to destabilize the peace process. During a late-night briefing, Reyes addressed her officers with urgency. "Our enemies seek to ignite the war anew. We must be vigilant. But our response must be measured. We cannot play into their hands by escalating prematurely." Counselor Merrick echoed her sentiment during a diplomatic summit. "The true test of our strength is restraint. We will not allow extremists to dictate our future." Despite these warnings, fear and uncertainty grew among the public. Media outlets debated the risks of peace versus the dangers of continued war. Activists called for stronger defense measures, while others pleaded for patience and dialogue. In the midst of this tension, a surprising gesture came from an unlikely source. Captain Lyra, Velen of the Zatari fleet, who had recently trusted Earth's repair bays, offered to serve as an envoy between Earth and moderate Zillar factions. Her reputation for fairness and diplomacy gave hope to those seeking to bridge divides. Reyes and Merrick welcomed the gesture. "Allies like Captain Velen are vital," Merrick said. "Together, we can build trust where there has been only suspicion." But the shadow of dissent grew longer. A sudden attack on a neutral space station near the Helios sector shook the galaxy. The station, hosting diplomats and traders from multiple factions, suffered heavy damage. Initial investigations revealed Zillar warlord involvement, an unmistakable warning. Earth responded swiftly, dispatching humanitarian aid and increasing security around key installations. The Federation also issued a stern warning to the Zillar Dominion leadership: rogue elements must be brought under control or face consequences. As tensions escalated, Reyes prepared for a delicate mission. She was to lead a covert operation aimed at uncovering the full extent of the extremist networks and preventing further attacks while avoiding open confrontation. The stakes had never been higher. Every decision carried the risk of sparking wider conflict or preserving the fragile hope for peace. In the quiet moments aboard her ship, Reyes contemplated the challenge. Humanity's resilience had brought them this far. Now, it was their wisdom and restraint that would define the future. Because in a galaxy on the brink, the true battle was not only fought with weapons, but with hearts and minds. Commander Elena Reyes felt the weight of the galaxy pressing down on her shoulders as her ship sliced through the silent void toward the heart of the conflict. Intelligence had uncovered a clandestine meeting point deep within the neutral systems, place where moderate Zillar leaders, Vecron diplomats, and human envoys could convene to discuss a fragile alliance against the extremists threatening all their futures. The meeting was risky. None of the factions fully trusted each other, and every word spoken could tip the balance toward peace or renewed war. Yet the alternative, allowing rogue elements to spiral the galaxy back into chaos, was unthinkable. Reyes led her small delegation with a measured determination. Alongside her was Captain Lyra Velen, the Zatari envoy whose reputation as a bridge builder had earned wary respect from all sides as they entered the conference chamber aboard the neutral station Harmonia. Tension was thick. Representatives from the Zillar Dominion and Vecron Coalition sat across from Earth's delegation, their expressions guarded but open. Counselor Merrick opened the talks. "We come not as victors or enemies, but as partners committed to peace. The extremists do not represent us, and together we must stop their destructive path." Zillar envoy General Kalen, a moderate who had long opposed the warlord's aggression, nodded cautiously. "Our people suffer under the hardliners' grip. This meeting is a chance to break that hold." Vecron Ambassador Thalor added, "Peace is fragile, but it is the only hope for a future beyond endless bloodshed." The initial hours were spent sharing intelligence locations of extremist bases, suspected plans, and recent attacks. Gradually, a picture emerged of a coordinated network spreading across key sectors, exploiting divisions to keep the war alive. Plans were drafted for joint operations, limited precise strikes aimed at dismantling rogue factions without inflaming broader conflict. Earth's unique technology and repair facilities would support the Alliance's efforts. Offering strategic advantage, Captain Velen's role proved invaluable. Her calm diplomacy smoothed tensions, fostering cooperation where suspicion had ruled. Outside the station, crews prepared their ships, aware that these operations could mark a turning point. Success meant crippling the extremists' power. Failure risked plunging the galaxy back into war. Back on Earth, media coverage of the Alliance brought a mixture of hope and skepticism. Citizens celebrated the prospect of peace, while critics questioned the risks of aligning with former enemies. Reyes understood the complexity. Trust is not given, it is earned through action and consistency, she told her team. We must prove that cooperation can overcome centuries of conflict. As joint missions commenced, early successes bolstered morale. Rogue bases were disrupted, supply lines cut, and key extremist leaders captured or eliminated. Civilians caught in conflict zones were evacuated and protected by Alliance forces. Yet challenges remained. Rogue factions retaliated with desperation, attacking transport convoys and sabotaging repair yards, including Earth's prized shipyards. The Alliance responded swiftly, enhancing security and deploying rapid response teams in one tense encounter. Reyes personally led a squad to rescue a stranded repair crew under fire. The operation's success became a symbol of unity, human, Zillar, and Vecran forces working seamlessly to save lives. But beneath the surface, the fragile Alliance faced internal pressures. Hardliners within each faction criticized cooperation as betrayal. Political leaders feared appearing weak to their own people. Counselor Merrick and Ambassador Thaler held private talks to address these fears, emphasizing the long-term benefits of peace and stability. As the Alliance endured its first trials, a new hope blossomed across the stars. The war that had once seemed inevitable now had a chance to end not through dominance, but through unity. For humanity, the journey from neutral observers to active peacemakers was a defining moment. The stars, once filled with suspicion and conflict, now held the promise of a shared future. But the road ahead remained perilous. The fragile Alliance was a beacon in the darkness, one that needed protection, vigilance, and unwavering commitment. Because in the vast expanse of space, peace was not a gift. It was a prize earned through courage, wisdom, and the willingness to stand together. The dawn over Earth's horizon was quiet but hopeful. After months of delicate negotiations, shared battles, and uneasy alliances, the galaxy's path was finally beginning to shift. The fragile alliance between Earth, the Vecran Coalition, and moderate Zillar factions was holding a testament to the power of trust forged in the fires of conflict. Commander Alina Reyes stood on the observation deck of the Federation flagship Resolute, gazing out at the stars. Each light represented a world once embroiled in war, now edging toward peace. The memory of the rogue faction's attacks and the Irani moon tragedy lingered, but so did the determination to ensure they would never be repeated. Counselor Merrick joined her, his expression reflecting cautious optimism. "It's a new chapter," he said softly. "One written by those who refuse to be defined by violence." The Alliance's success had come not from overwhelming force, but from unity and shared purpose. The joint operations had dismantled the extremist hold, freeing countless systems from fear and chaos. Earth's repair bays continued to welcome alien captains, their ships repaired and crews treated with respect, signaling a new era of cooperation. News of the ceasefires, formal ratifications spread like wildfire. Across distant starports, celebrations erupted, and leaders exchanged messages of goodwill. The galaxy, long fractured, glimpsed a future where conflict might give way to collaboration yet. Reyes knew the road ahead would still require vigilance. Peace is a living thing, she reminded her team during a final briefing. It requires nurturing, constant attention, and the courage to confront new challenges. The Federation's scientists unveiled plans to expand their humanitarian missions, sharing technology to rebuild war-torn worlds and foster economic growth. Educational programs aimed at promoting cultural understanding were launched. Bridging divides that war had deepened. Captain Lyra Velen, now a key figure in the Alliance's diplomatic corps, praised Earth's leadership. Your species has shown that strength and compassion can coexist. You have inspired many. As the Alliance grew, even some former skeptics began to change their minds. Hardened generals, once quick to endorse conflict, found new purpose in diplomacy and reconstruction. In the heart of the Zillar Dominion, General Kalen addressed his people. We have chosen a different path, not one of endless war, but of shared destiny. The story of Earth's rise from a wary outsider to a beacon of hope spread through the galaxy, inspiring new generations. Schools taught of the human resolve that refused to be cowed by violence, the wisdom that chose dialogue over destruction, and the kindness that healed wounds. Back on Earth, families gathered beneath the stars, looking up with wonder and pride. The galaxy was vast and full of unknowns, but for the first time in a long time, it felt like home. Rhea stood once more on the observation deck, the night sky vast and endless. A new dawn was indeed breaking, not just for Earth, but for all who dared to believe in peace. Because in a universe often defined by conflict, humanity had proven that the greatest strength lay in the courage to choose hope.